Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like...
Fucker! You fucker! Fucker!
Oh!
Huh? What the f...
Hello again everyone, this is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. Thank you all for joining me. Today I'll be reviewing the movie District 9. This movie was handled very differently than other films. Much like Cloverfield, it was presented in a very center-orientated form of viral marketing. There was very unique videos, interesting posters, really cool stickers that were posted around theaters, park benches, and bus stops that seemed like non-humans allowed to sit here and stuff like that. It was very clever, very crafty, and very creative, particularly with the trailers, because they didn't show you much of the film. It didn't really give you much of an idea of what it was going to be about, but you got enough information that you wanted to know more. And by the time that you saw more of the trailers, you got even more enhanced and enticed to see what this movie was exactly all about. And after I heard the glowingly amazing reviews from both paper critics and online critics alike, needless to say, my interest was highly piqued, and I just had to get a glimpse of what everyone was yakking about. District 9 is brought to you by Key Creatives Pictures. It has been famously presented as being a presentation by Peter Jackson. It was directed by Neil Blomklamp, who also wrote the film along with Terry Tatchell. It stars Charlotte Copley as Wiekes van der Meer, Jason Cope as Gray Brandon, Sylvain Strike as Dr. Katrina McKenzie, and William Allen Young as Dirk Michaels. The plot of District 9. For 28 years, an insect sort of crustacean-like alien race called prawns have been living in Johannesburg, South Africa. 28 years ago, their spaceship stalled directly above Johannesburg, and the human military had to basically go in and cut them out of the spaceship, find out that they were all dying of disease, starvation, and defecation. So the aliens were allowed to live down on Earth in a sectioned-off area known as District 9. District 9 is a shit, piss, poor ass excuse for a shanty town where the aliens lived in extreme poverty and even worse conditions they had on the spaceship, where they're scrounging for food, mostly cat food, and being bullied by Nigerian warlords who constantly come in and abuse them and just harass them constantly. They are mostly dealt in terms of contact with a special organization called the MNU, and the film follows the lead correspondent of the MNU, Wiekes van der Meer, a man who has been assigned the position of evicting all of the aliens in District 9 towards another location known as District 10, which they don't really understand that much, as we find out in the film that the aliens and humans have mass trouble communicating with each other, and eventually Wiekes van der Meer discovers a secret inside District 9 that unravels a whole new world of conspiracy, deception, and horrors that neither he nor any of the aliens or humans could have ever imagined. I don't want to give too much away, so I'll just leave it at that. I'll review the plot. Two words come to mind when I hear about this movie. Freaking brilliant. This is an absolutely brilliantly original film. It's not based off a comic book or an old cartoon show from the 80s or an anime or a remake or a sequel or a prequel or a graphic novel. It's not based off anything. It's an original, creative idea, and I absolutely admire that almost in and of itself, and it sounds strange doing that, but when you think about it, there really hasn't been any standalone movies that really have an original plot quite like this, at least not recently that I've seen. And not only that, but this is quite possibly the most breathtakingly realistic approach to aliens I have ever seen. You could really see this actually happening in your lives. I mean, obviously this is far-fetched to say the least, but still, even though the alien concept is still out there, the way it's presented is in such a realistic manner. You could believe it. It's done in kind of like Cops. You've done it in a real video camera documentary-like fashion, and it's done so realistically without any over-the-top exaggeration or exploitation that it makes it look so real. Even with the actors, the characters, they were wise to avoid celebrities and chosen unknown people who just fit right for the part and just could make you really convey a sense sense of connection with real life people and real life characters in real life situations. And the situations were created so beautifully and incredibly realistically, you almost felt that this was actually happening right in your backyard. And I admire the video camera perspective of doing it like a mockumentary, documentary thing. It was a genius way to approach this, and it made the movie much more realistic and made it much more intense for you to enjoy. Review the characters. As I said, there are no real famous celebrities. There's no likes of Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, or Ben Stiller in here. It's all relatively unknown, or extremely unknowns. But most of the film hinges on pretty much one star alone, and that is Charlotte Copley as Wiekes van der Meer. And with him just leading the film, you've already proved just how awesome this movie is even further, because he does it magnificently. He plays a straight, down-to-earth guy who shows a nice array of mixed emotions and conflicts throughout the entire film, and above all, the one thing that makes him so damn great in this film is he's real. He feels truly real. You feel like you could really see this guy doing this job, or you could see this guy as your neighbor or working with you, at where you work, whatever. He just has that real sense of connection to you, and I really think that he made this movie work so much better because of his honesty. It didn't feel fake or phony. It felt like a sincere performance, and it just worked so well with everyone. I mean, everyone did great here, but I mean, like I said, this movie was done in such a realistic manner that it almost seems weird commenting on acting performances when the movie was done in a documentary-like fashion. And documentaries aren't about acting, they're about telling a story. And exactly what this movie did. It told a story, and it told it incredibly through the eyes of this one man, and he made the whole movie work. The aliens look absolutely incredible, and you really didn't think at first, when you see how creepy and crustacean-like they are, that they couldn't really convey any sense of emotions, but you can. You can see in their faces, in the way they make the sounds, with their clicking sounds, just to look at their eyes. You can really see a sense of almost humanity in these inhuman creatures, and I don't think any alien movies outside of the softy, kiddie-friendly ones, like, say, E.T. or something, have actually accomplished that. Review the cinematography and the music. Just breathtaking. I cannot stress this any further. Breathtaking. The shots of the spaceship in the sky, just the look on this town and the aliens. It's just incredible just how beautifully visual this movie is. It really helps you enhance the feel just how horrible and just insufferable the aliens have been treated, how piss poorly that the humans have been to them, and the shit that they do behind their backs. It's just absolutely disgusting. It's really enhanced with how the movie's shot, the way the music is used. One thing I have to commend on is the raw emotion on these scenes that just comes from a really brilliant script that works so well with the music and the cinematography. It conveys everything so perfectly. I think this is a movie that can speak to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're not easily impressed or interested in this kind of subject. It's just done in such an honest way that you can really sink right into this and just be sucked into this world so easily and so quickly and so effectively. The design of the alien weapons is really incredible. I'm not going to spoil what these weapons actually do, but they're quite a sight to see. And speaking of sights to see, this movie is very intense. I got to warn right up, straight up. It's a gory and intense movie. It's not a gore fest like some kind of horror movie. This is not a horror movie, but it's used effectively to incite the right emotions and evoke a sense of horror and drama in you, and it does it so well. This movie it really brings a whole new world to people's eyes. It's like a whole new ball game now. This just changed, I think, the whole way you can look at movie directing. And in all honesty, I can't even say anything about flaws for this film, but in truth, I really can't. There's not really much I can say here about complaining, because I had no honest complaints about this film. The only thing I think felt weird was that I actually felt like this movie was 3 hours long when it's only like 112 minutes or something like that. Now, maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. That's the best I can come up with. Because in all honesty, maybe that's how the movie just makes you feel. Maybe that's a good thing that it does that. But that's the only thing I can honestly say, other than this movie was frickin' great. I mean, this is a true definition of an artistic film without being boring and snobbish and shoved into shithole select theaters praised by critics that no one really gives a rat's ass about, because this is a movie that you need to give a rat's ass about. Final wrap-up, District 9 is a magnificent masterpiece that is unlike any movie you have seen in God knows how long, or God knows how long it will be in the future. I don't think there's going to be a film anytime soon that can really match the creativity, the imagination, and the passionate design of this film. It is realistic. It is hardcore, in-depth, real, inside and out. You truly feel like you're in this world. It's an excellent story. The incredible alien designs. You have a great standalone actor with Charlotte Copley as Wickes Van der Meer. It tells the story beautifully, effectively, straight to the point, no fluff, no stupid crap, and it's honest, it's original, and it's creative. This is a movie that I think everyone should go out and frickin' see right now. I don't care what age, I don't care what generation, see this movie right now. I happily and proudly give District 9 a perfect 5 stars out of 5 stars rating. Well, that's all for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye for now.